Hey everybody, it's Rachel with Rachel Q Stitches and welcome to my channel. Today is Wednesday, January 29th, 2025, and this is FlossTube number 123. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. This is a channel mostly about cross stitch. Every now and then I might have some quilting or embroidery or crochet or other stitchy goodness, but for the most part I talk about cross stitch. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for stopping by. I've kind of been AWOL through most of 2024, but kind of got back into stitching in October. And so I'm trying to really return to you guys in full force. I was supposed to come last week, but we had a major dumping of snow in my area, and I'll talk about that at the end, and it'll scattered a little bit throughout my video. But anyway, you're not here for that. Well, I mean, you might be. You might want to hear about my life. But anyway, I usually save that toward the end. So this is about cross stitch. So let's talk about cross stitch. This past 3 weeks, because I was supposed to get to you guys last week. So for the past 3 weeks, I touched quite a few things. I got 2 new starts, not including my scheduled January start, 2 new starts. And then touched my whip go pieces, got those done, and some other stitching. So let me get into the stitching with you guys. Okay, so first let's talk about my whip go pieces. This, for the month of January, the 2 pieces that were called were Anna Green Gables by the Stitching Book Club, and that is this piece right here. And I do use Pattern Keeper for this piece, but because there's a lot of back stitching, I hate to say like what percentage I am going to tell you guys, because you know, I know people like to hear that kind of stuff. So with Anne of Green Gables, I actually stitched 1,019 stitches, but I also worked an hour on back stitching. I was trying to get some of the back stitching done, so that when Pattern Keeper did tell me that I was complete, I could maybe actually be close to being finished. Okay, so here's what I have done. Okay, so basically I was waiting for this dark green. I needed to get some more. So I ordered some from Michael's and went and picked it up. And this is what I got done. And you can see my back stitching all along the top right there. I still have a little bit more, you know, stitching to do in that area. Right now, what I'm trying to do, and that's kind of what I did and why I have it done the way it's done, is I'm trying to color complete as much as I possibly can. And so this green is a huge amount of stitching. And I know a lot of people like to pick the one with the smallest amount of stitches, but because this takes up so much space and leaves a lot of great reference points for when it comes to counting, I want to get these done. So I want to get the wording done, and then I can work on this part where Anna's sitting in this top part. I do have a counting error. I think it's in this block right here, so I'm gonna have to adjust what's in it. And right here, I think were some, let me see, it's a quote from the book. I'm not going to put that because it's not going to fit. Hold on, I'm about to drop my book. It's not going to fit. So I think I might just end up doing right here some more of these vines right here. I don't know. I'll see when I get to it what I think. But this is what I got done. I'm pleased with what I got done. 1,000 stitches. I generally only have 3 days a week that I can stitch. I watched my grandkids the other days, and so these are the days that I can stitch. So I think I got a lot done. Considering I worked on other things too. So I'm now at, I'm at 79.45% done, not counting the back stitching as percentage. So there you go, Anna Green Gables. I think this is still available on her Etsy shop. It is Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts, otherwise known as the Stitching Book Club. And I don't know if she's got enough. I know they were doing Dracula. I'm not into Dracula, so I didn't do that one. I do have Jane Eyre that I need to do. I purchased it and I never worked on it. So I might start that one next. But I do like her projects. They're fun projects to do. Okay. The next Whip Go piece is City of Love. I do not have a printout of that, so I'll try to put a picture here. This is by Stitch Rovia. I think it's called City of Romance on her Etsy page, but I got mine out of a magazine, and I was able to find it. If you watched my whip parade, you'll know that it was missing. It went AWOL for a while, but I actually found it with the floss. Isn't that a miracle? Anyway, okay, so this is what I have done so far. This will not be finished this year. It's slated for a finish, but it's kind of one of those, that's what my Whip Go is. My Whip Go is mainly pieces that I would like to see get done or mostly done. Okay, so this is what I worked on. I picked this blue. I'm kind of just picking a color and stitching. So I stitched all this blue. So I'll work on it again. I have what, 2-3 more days left to work on it. I'll work on it some more. This is this and the end piece are both on 14 count Aida. This one I hand dyed myself. So that's it right there. That's for the end. I'm just, like I said, I love the blocks of color, so I'm just trying to pick a color and stitch them as much of that color as I can in that one area. I don't want to travel too far, so that's what I got done. I can't wait to finish this piece. Not that I don't like it, I'm just ready. I'm ready to be done. I don't know when I started this. I'm gonna have to go back and check my records and see when I started this piece, but I'm done. I'm done with it. Okay. The next one I started, so we can get to my new starts. I had 2 new starts. One of them I started because if you watch the news, you will know that my area had snow. I live in South Louisiana, about 30-40 miles from the coast of the Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico, whatever you want to call it. From the Gulf, we just say the Gulf. We don't call it anything else. I'm looking for the picture of it. I know I put it, I thought I put it in here. I'm not going to say I know. I thought, oh, here it is. Arctic Blast. This is by Carolyn Manning. This is free on her Facebook group. So if you want this piece, go join her Facebook group and you can get this. I've stitched some of her smaller pieces, but this is the first, it's a shooting star piece that I've ever stitched. So yeah, so we had, we had about 6 inches at our house, and my cousin, he lives a little bit north, about 20 minutes north of us. He got close to 12. Y'all, this is Louisiana. We don't get this. So in honor of that, I started this, and I worked on it every day that we had snow on the ground. Now this will not become a snow piece because then it'll never get worked on. So it's just going to go into my regular rotation. I actually enjoy stitching this. I can see why people stitch this. You pick a color, you stitch, you move on. This is on a 18 count Aida that I had. I ordered giant pieces of white off of Amazon and just cut into them. Sometimes I dye them, but so yeah, so this was fun. I put, okay, Arctic Blast. Let me see. I put 857 stitches into it for a total of 2.35% is what I got done. And I stitched on it in this chair, and you can't see, but you know, directly behind y'all is my front door. And I was just watching the snow fall, thinking to myself, this is stupid. It's crazy. It's crazy. It was crazy. It was so much fun, but it's crazy. And at the end of the video, I'll put some pictures of our snow. But that's what I got done. So I've been wanting to start this piece, and she actually gave it free the last, was it 2023 that we had a big Arctic blast, and it got cold here. It got really cold here, but we didn't have snow. But this was historic. I had to stitch this, so to commemorate this historic event. Okay, and my next start. This was started with some unintentional encouragement from a couple of floss tubers. The first one is Crafty Emily. She's in the UK, not quite sure exactly where she's at. She started during Flossmas stitching the Mill Hill Christmas Village on one piece of fabric, all the little houses. And I watched her, and every couple of days she would start a new one. She'd work on one for a few days, and then she would start a new one during Flossmas. And I watched. Now, this lady, oh my gosh, to stitch like her, she is a fast stitcher, fast. She gets a lot done, and I love watching her. I love watching her progress. But I loved watching her floss tubes every day. When they were, as soon as I got the notification, I'd turn into her floss tube and watch it, just to see what she was doing on this piece that she was working on. And then I've been watching Amy at Renewing Stitches, and she is doing a ornament whip go using the freebies from Punkin. Now, you'll know many years ago when I first started my channel, if you've been with me that long, I was stitching several of the Punkin soapbox houses. Well, I think it was end of 2023, I think it was, I got an idea of something I wanted to do, and I never went through with it because I didn't have the desire to sit down and plan it out. I'm just going to say that. It was a desire. I didn't have that desire to sit down and plan it out. Well, in December, Pinker and Punkin, while I'm sitting there watching Crafty Emily, Pinker and Punkin came out on her blog, her houses by month. And I thought, now I can do it. Now I can do it. And you're saying, what are you talking about, Rachel? What are you babbling about? So in my process of looking at it, I noticed that Michelle, I think that's her name, Romantic Tangle, has been stitching the houses. And I know that Mama Loves You GB had done a thing for stitching one house every other month or something like that of Pinker and Punkin. Well, I like the idea of the Hawk Run Hollow houses, you know, the Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow, with all the squares, and even the Anniversaries of the Heart concept where all this stuff is on one piece. I love it. I don't really care for the style of the wording of Hawk Run Hollow. Nothing wrong with it. I just don't care for it. It's just not me. So I decided I was going to take the Pinker and Punkin one house a month and stitch them. So this is what I did. This is on a 14 count, I don't know, wait, I have it right here, fiddler's cloth, 14 count fiddler's cloth. And I'm going to stitch a house a month. Now what I'm going to do, and this is kind of along the lines of what Crafty Emily did, is I'm going to take a house, and every month I'm going to try to give it a couple of hours, probably 2 hours. Now you'll see here this line that I have right here. I went ahead and gridded it out because not all the houses are the same stitch count. Some are like 69 by 70, some are 69 by 69, some are, I think the biggest one had 79 stitches. And so what I did was I decided that I was going to make every square, every block 80 by 80. That was just kind of a, you know, I could fit the biggest house in it and the smallest house wouldn't look too bad. So what I'm doing is I'm going to give it 2 hours a month, and I'm going to start stitching the houses. And then what I'm going to do is when I get near the end of each one, I'm going to, well, when each block is finished, I'm going to see how much space I have. Like this one, and I don't have a picture of the one I'm going to try to put the picture of the one I'm doing right here. There's a snowman and a tree, but if the way I have it spaced, I can put an extra tree next to the snowman. But there'll be some space up here that I'll need filling in. I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go through my family tree. And going back, my husband, myself, our parents, and our grandparents, and maybe our great-grandparents, because even though I didn't know my great-grandparents, my dad speaks a lot of his grandparents, and my mom spoke highly of her grandmothers. She didn't know her grandfathers all that much, but she spoke highly of her grandmothers. I'm sorry about the shadow, y'all. Hold on, I'm gonna try to fix this. Maybe that's better. I don't know. It's getting dark outside. But anyway, so this is it right here. So I'm gonna try to add their, I don't like that. Y'all, ooh, messing with everything. Sorry. I'm gonna, hold on. I'm just gonna like leave it alone, try to fix it when I edit. Anyway, so this is January's house. So what I was saying is I'm gonna go back our family tree. So like in January, my grandmother was born in January. I'm gonna go ahead and put her information in here, kind of along the line. So it's kind of a Pinker and Punkin, Hawk Run Hollow, Anniversaries of the Heart mashup, Rachel style. So that's what I plan on doing. So this was my start. So every month I'm gonna try to give each house 2 hours. And then it'll be a project that this year, all the houses will get started. And then next year, I can just kind of slowly work on each one. So that's my new start. That's my second new start. Yes, Pink Room Punkin. So just looking at my notes, see if I need to say anything else. So that's when I got started. So I have the first 3 months. So it's going to be 3 by 4. Yeah, 3 across and then 4 down. And so I have the first 3 houses chosen, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So that's what I'm doing. Exciting. I'm excited about it. Like I said, this is 1 hour. I'm gonna put another hour into it and see where I'm at. So that is my new start, and I'm glad I finally got it started. When I first wanted to do it, I did not have the mental capacity, desire to sit down and figure out which houses went with which month. And when Melissa put that on her blog, and I'm going to try to link that portion of her blog down below. When she put that on her blog, I thought, okay, thank you. Now I can figure out exactly which one I want to do. And I do think that I want to use all the ones that have the quilt blocks on the bottom. And if not, I might mash up two of her different blocks together and just kind of make it my own. But that is what I'm doing. So excited about that. I'm excited about that start. I've been wanting to do something like that. So it's exciting to finally get it done. So thank you, Melissa, for putting that on your blog. Okay, so the next thing I worked on was my 4 seasons chart. And I don't think I have that in my book. So I'm going to go ahead and put a picture of that across the top so that you can see it. So this is my 4 seasons chart. This is a chart that I bought off of Etsy. It was a kit that I was looking for the kit, and I found the chart on Etsy. I bought the chart on Etsy. Can't find a kit anywhere. It's a Russian kit, so I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it or whatever. I cannot find a kit. I found a lady who originally sold them on Etsy, but when I contacted her, she got back to me and she's like, I can't get it anymore. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So I just decided to go ahead and stitch the Etsy chart. So here's what I have right here. 4 seasons. I put 265 stitches in it for a total of 0.049%. And I stitched this up here. I picked a color and just started stitching. This is also on an 18 count Aida. Most of my full coverage are either on 18. I'm going to switch over this way. Most of my full coverage are either on 18 or I do have one on 20 and one on 22. I really like 22 because I can use 2/1 half crosses. That's what I use. I converted all my full coverage to half crosses. So this is it right here. So that is my 4 seasons piece. Okay, the next piece I did was my nativity. This is by Donna Gelsinger. Charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Now I see why y'all just put the pictures up there. It's so much easier than looking through my book. And I don't like to keep the paper with the chart because it gets all messed up. Y'all, I know I have it. There it is. There we go. The nativity. Then Donna Gelsinger, Heaven and Earth Designs. Okay. So I am doing this one on 22 count. I started it on a cheap 18 count that I got from Michael's, and I absolutely, y'all, it was horrendous. I actually ended up tossing that fabric. I didn't even want to donate it because it was so horrible. And it wasn't even. It was hard. It was terrible. Okay, so this is the nativity. I did 383 stitches for a total of 0.53%. So exciting. So what I'm doing for this is I am trying to finish a 3x3 square. So I got a lot of little confetti stitches in here. And when I ordered my thread, I had to order some 60s because I am using, go back and watch my whip braid, but I talk about how I had a knockoff kit that I ended up buying the chart instead. So I'm using the knockoff kit floss, which is the equivalent to CXC. So I had to buy some CXC from Not a Unicorn on Etsy, and I forgot some colors. So I had to order some. So she shipped those out already. So that's what I got done. So I am just trying to fill in as much as I can of this little area. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start doing block stitching. I don't think I can do diagonal. I don't think I don't know. I might try my next full coverage that I'm gonna start. I might try a diagonal stitching, but I don't think I can do, I don't know. I shouldn't say I can't do it. I haven't tried it. But right now I'm just trying to fill in as much of these confetti stitches so I can at least say this part is done, and then move on and say this part is done. But like I said, I have to wait for that floss to come in. So anyway, so these, like I said, all my full covers, and I have started parking, y'all. Pattern Keeper makes it super duper easy to park, so I've started parking, so that is fun. Never thought I would like parking, but it's actually kind of nice not to have to cut my threads and to know that I can move on. So that is that. I kind of wish I had gotten the mini version, but I don't think I'm gonna switch it out just yet. Okay, so that is the nativity. Okay, and then the last one I did was Ironwork Gate. This is a piece that I picked up at a thrift store right here. I put out a call on my one of my groups and says, what is this piece and who stitches it? And they told me, so I bought the chart, and I'm finishing this mystery stitcher's work. So this is also one of the pieces that is slated for a finish. I would love to finish it this year. I honestly don't see any of these finishing this year except for maybe Anne. But the rest of them, I just want to see some progress. So this is it right here. So what I did was my goal is to finish all of this piece right here. It's on Whip Go. So I was going to go up to the top, but I'm like, no, I want to finish all of this bottom section, and then I can work on the balcony up at the top. So I worked on it for 2 hours. I did all this color. I just picked a color and I just kept stitching. And so that's it, right? And of course there's all the ironwork back stitching I'm gonna have to do. But yeah, so that is Ironwork Gate. I still love this piece. I adore these older pieces. There's just something about them that I love, the older designs. But I love this piece, and I really want to get it finished. And it's on a 28 count, even weave mystery. Kind of feels like the stuff that you can get at Michael's or whatever. So, and when I bought it, it was on a scroll rod. And I go back and forth between stitching in hand and stitching on with hoops. And you'll notice that several of my pieces were on hoops. I find that with my full coverage, I do better if I stitch in a hoop of sort. So that's kind of how I'm doing. Okay, plans. So the only plans I have are the new Whip Go numbers were called, and they are, let me see, Mini, Beauty, and Strength. This is an artisy pattern. I absolutely adore this pattern. And that is this right here. This is also on an 18 count. And I did switch, oh no, that's the wrong one. And I did switch it over to tent stitching. And I'm not sure where I'm at. I do have it in my Whip Parade. I love Artisy's minis because they are so achievable. They really are. They're really pretty. This is it right here. This is where I started. So this is what I'm going to do. My goal, I would love to get 500 stitches in each one. So 500 stitches in this one and 500 in the next one that was called. Their 2 full coverages were called 2 minis. So that's nice. So that is the first one that was called. The second one that was called is Mini Patchwork Quilt Room. I do not have that in my book, so I'll go ahead and put a picture of it up here somewhere. And this is it. Oh, y'all, I got 2 needles in this thing. Hold up. This is it right here. So what I'm going to try to do with this one is I'm going to try to fill in all these bottom stitches and get, again, 500 stitches, but I'd love to get to the end, but I don't know how far I am from the end of it. This is a heaven and earth, so nah, I'm not going to get to the end, y'all. Look at my fabric. Not going to happen. So I would love to get, 500 stitches in it. That would be nice. That'd be really nice. More would be even better. So anyway, so that is my stitching for the last 3 weeks. Y'all excuse me. We are still dealing with respiratory stuff here. Yeah. So on to personal stuff. If you're here, if you're not here for that, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Hopefully I can get a video out. Oh, let's do it next week to kind of get back into my groove, my first week of February. So I'll see if I can do that. If not, it'll be in 2 weeks, hopefully. Hopefully not another 3 weeks. But anyway, so on to personal stuff. We had snow, y'all. We never get snow here. We've had dustings. I don't think we've gotten this much snow the whole time we lived in Tennessee. We would get ice in Tennessee, a lot of ice. We would get some snow. We've had, we lived on a farm most of our time in Tennessee. And so on the farm, we had a hill, we did sledding, but it still had grass pockets everywhere. Y'all, I could not see grass. My granddaughter stepped outside and it went over her boots. It's her little rain boots. I mean, I'm like, y'all. So it was so much fun. My husband did stick a ruler out there, and I think it said like 8 inches. I'm going to have to ask him. He had a ruler out there. He's a scientist. He does stuff like that. But anyway, it was really fun. We had a great time. Like I said, I sat here and looked outside, and I was just like, it's still snowing. It's still snowing. And I'm like, it's coming down hard. It's coming down harder. It is still snowing. The wind's blowing. It was actually, they were calling it blizzard conditions just because of the way the wind was blowing and everything. We went to church Sunday, and there were still piles of snow on the side of the ground, on the roads and every side of the roads and everything. So it was crazy. So my husband got off of school Friday, and obviously he was off because Monday was Martin Luther King Day. And so he got off of work Friday. He came home. He says, we don't have school Tuesday because of the predicted weather. If anything, they said, even if it didn't snow, because it was getting so cold, we don't have that kind of stuff here. We're prepared for rain. We're prepared for hurricanes, heat, humidity. We can do that. Cold weather, we just don't have the stuff. It's tropical climate. Why would we need that? So we don't have snow plows. We don't have salt trucks. We don't have any of that. And it was cold, and kids have to wait for the bus. So they said no school Tuesday because we don't want kids out in that weather. And we still have kids that walk to school, especially in town. And so they're like, no school. So Tuesday, it poured snow. It just kept snowing. No school Wednesday, no school Thursday. And Friday, they went ahead. Most of the roads were fine. Thursday, I told my husband, I said, I need to get out of the house. So we went for a little drive, not too bad. My son shoveled the driveway just so that when it did melt, it would have a way to drain down into the road and stuff. And I'm sorry, y'all, my neighbor walks her dog, and she doesn't watch her dogs when she walks them. She looks down at her phone the whole time. Like, there are times I'm driving down the road and she doesn't move her dogs. And I'm like, hello, get off your phone, walk your dogs. Anyway, she's right there in front of so she's like looking in my window. I'm like, stop. Anyway, it was crazy. They didn't have school Friday because there were some schools that they were under a boil advisory for the water. They wanted to make sure maintenance could go and make sure there were no busted pipes, and some of the roofs are flat roofs, and the weight of the snow, they wanted to make sure there were no leaks and all that kind of stuff. So he had no school the whole week. The girls were off of MDO. My son actually did not go back to work until Thursday. And my daughter-in-law started working at a new restaurant, and they were supposed to open Tuesday. Snow. They didn't open Tuesday. They didn't open Wednesday. Some of the restaurants opened Thursday for emergency personnel. And then finally hers opened Friday, and they had a fabulous opening weekend. I said, of course, everybody's been stuck in their house. They want to eat. They want a new place. So anyway, so it was insane the amount of snow we got. I mean, seriously, we had friends that were from up north that are like, we haven't even seen that yet. Insane The southern US was just white. It was crazy. Anyway, in fact, they have some satellite images where you can see the snow, and it's like, y'all, this was insane. Insane. Anyhow, that's my personal update. We're just talking about this snow. It's just crazy. Anyway, so that's pretty much all I have. The girls are at MDO. I am, my daughter-in-law is not working today, so she's getting some schoolwork done. And so it's a quiet day here. So I think I'm going to get some stitching done once I get this thing uploaded to you guys. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys hopefully next week, if not in 2 weeks, maybe, unless we get some kind of freak weather event. Lord willing, happy stitching, everybody. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.